Out. Over 16,000 folks in here to get the Buffalo Bandits off on a chance to three-peat against the Detroit Turbos in the first playoff game for the Mill. This is Les Bartley. What a successful record he has had. Took over as head coach for the Bandits after the first 3 games of their first year. Went 22 straight games without losing. Shane Sanderson, the Turbos head coach, has turned this team into the surprise team in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. I'm Lee Felsmo along with Christy Lee. This is our Deuce presentation on the mothership ESPN. We are showing you one of the most exciting sports going. Who's who? Well, Detroit is the purple and the silver, and the Bandits, the home team, in the orange-shouldered black jerseys. First face-off of the game controlled by Detroit. They work it down. Stoney, number 2, gets it all the way across the cylinder. They're shooting at a 4 by 4.5 foot goal. Geary starts at the goal, and he makes the first save. The rebound shot, not good. Look at the defense for the Buffalo Bandits. They will level most of the offensive players if they stand around in front of the goal. This is Stu Aird. He's 37 years old this month. The oldest player in the league, but a tremendous veteran, is having an all-pro year. He's second-team all-pro. Those selections just made last week. Goalie's coming off and being hot early on. As they make the first saves, Dietrich makes his first save. Mentioning those all-pros, you'll see an all-pro at halftime. You'll see the full teams voted by the players of the league. Detroit in their second offensive set. They start deep in the corners, try to get into Dowling. He couldn't control. Look at the defense for Buffalo.
Right here.
Push call. We'll stay here. 30-second shot clock. You've got to hit the 4.5 foot goal within 30 seconds. Look at all the activity here in Detroit. Trying to get the ball into the cylinder. Buffalo under heavy orders by Coach Les Bartley to clear out the cylinder. He wants cross checks on anybody in that dangerous area. And receiving 17 is Terry Bullen, captain. One of the captains for the Detroit Turbos.
It's orange ball. Orange ball. Orange ball.
Here.
We have a crease violation. Orange ball.
That's Rich Tamburino. We have Mike, the head referee, Rich Tamburino. He will be making the calls. You'll hear what it's like for him to really take charge of the field. They started too quickly. They give it back to Andy Shaughnessy. And now, less than 2 minutes into the first quarter, no score. It'll be the second offensive set for the Bandits. This is Hamley, that first unit of theirs. Troy Cordingley takes it down. It gets mugged by Detroit. No call. Finally, they get one. Bill Fox, referee, calls it against Dowling, number 19. He gets 2 minutes into the penalty box. Watch Dowling play defense. The move inside by Cordingley. He gets some space, and he is pulled down from behind. Holding is the call. Leah Cordingley talking to the referee saying, let's go make the call, and he did make the call. 2 minutes on Dow offensive star. This will put the power play in motion for Buffalo. It'll be triggered up top by Hammer Hamley, number 28. This is Beltman, 32, in the Buffalo orange and black. 5 against 4 as they take their first shot against Dietrich, a little bit wide. This will be a 2-minute power play. They play against a box zone. This is Tavares, Mr. MVP. The Hammer with the juke move gets inside. Again, wide. They missed the right pipe twice. Terry Bullen now will settle down. He goes for the offensive end to Adam Mueller. Mueller against Hamley, can't pick it up. Ball squirts the ball back to Geary. He's out and being pushed by Detroit. Leveled by another player. Geary comes up and gives it off to Beltman. That was a call on Jacobs. I don't know if you saw it to the left of the screen. It's a delayed call. They get a shot. Beltman just takes it against Dietrich. This will put 2 men in the penalty box. Detroit coming out a little bit nasty, and that's their reputation. They're the nasty boys, as well as the Wild Bunch. Watch the right-hand corner. Geary has it, but watch the players behind there. Well, they whack Tavares as they run by, and that will put number 21, Wayne Jacobs. So 2 of the Wild Bunch are now spending some time getting splinters on the bench, the penalty bench. Now it's 5 against 3. They'll get a good shot here. Great defensive move by Terry Bullen. It was 5 on 3, and Hamley took a pitiful shot right into the stick of Terry Bullen. Plenty of time left, though. 1 minute on the first penalty, 1:40 on the second. Les Bartley, the coach of Buffalo, preaches patience here. Even though you have 5 against 3, don't force the shots. Again, they missed to the right pipe. The shot clock winding down to 14. Since they didn't hit the face of the goal, time is now moving down. There's Kilgore all the way down. Easy. Slam dunk. Rope for John Tavares. 1-0. Buffalo leads. Power play motion sets up Tavares all alone. Kilgore with a look-away feed. Look at the open net. Nothing but rope for Tavares. The key is to get the feed through the defense. With only 3 players, they had to almost let it go through. Pat Coyle, the closest defender, number 6. Accordingly, in there being talked to, Tavares, number 11, gets the first goal of the game. He is the MVP of the league, certainly the MVP of the Turbos, of the Buffalo Bandits. We featured him in our open, and he will be somebody to watch. Without question, the best player in the league. Hamley now 5-on-4. One player came out of the box, but there's still a man up. Still one player in the penalty box for 45 seconds.
No. Don't do it again. Get off each other.
All right, Christy, the game's starting off pretty physical. What do you got over there?
Leaf, this is exactly what we talked about in the open. The Detroit Turbos had to stay out of the penalty box right off the bat. They get 2 guys in there, and we know the Bandits scored on the power play. They are killers when you get them down. So these guys have got to contain their tempers and stay out of that penalty box. They're going to win this game tonight.
And Christy, the penalties really were not really needed. One was a mugging off the ball. The other, a holding before a defensive check. So Detroit has to be smart. So far, it's cost them only 1 goal. Right now, they're facing a 5-on-4 for 12 more seconds. This ought to eat up that penalty and make them all leaving. First time in a little over 2 minutes. Adam Mueller from Michigan State brings the ball up, number 16 for Detroit. Now he gives it off to fresh legs off the bench. Meredith had a huge game last time, number 14. Watch him. He had 4 goals the last time they played, which was only last week. The final game of the regular season. Pete Park, a handful at 6'5", 220. Park looks in close. He's got Mueller and he's got Rope. Beautifully done. Peter Park draws a crowd, and Mueller cut inside him. Mueller also had a great game last week. Watch Mueller cut to the left, takes the feed from Park. Park had 2 and 3 defenders, beats Geary. It's 1-1, 10:26 left. Quarter, you're looking at Adam Mueller. There's Christy Lee behind him. She's parked on that Detroit bench for the first quarter. Buffalo got the first goal on a power play, and Detroit came right back, worked it from Peter Park to Adam Mueller. Park really gets your attention. He's huge, and Mueller just slid inside him. Now again, the Detroit offense. Coyle comes in right in the face of Bill Geary, number 39, the goalie. Bill Geary sat on the bench most of the year. Les Bartley for Buffalo feels confident in either goalie, but Cowie was the number 1 guy until late in the season. And Geary has been hot. He was into action in the Boston game. Finished that game as the MVP. Had an 86% save percentage last week against this team from Detroit, so he gets the nod tonight. A lot of pushing in the cylinder and a delayed call against Buffalo. So Detroit's going to get a power play. They'll get a free shot first. Dowling wants to make it count. Goes for Rope. Big save. No goal.
17.
Follow-up shot went in, but it did not count.
Hey, 17!
Watch Dowling push himself in, beat the defense, comes right into the face. First one save. Now he's in the crease. Play is over because with a penalty that's on delay basis, you only get 1 shot.
17, you're up, you're down.
So Brian Hall goes into the penalty box for 2 minutes on a roughing call, and Detroit gets their first penalty play. Lee Felsmo, Christy Lee, bring you our ESPN 2 coverage on the mothership. Meredith starts up front with triggering the offense, and Beltman picks off the loose ball. He is mugged by Driscoll. Comes over toward the penalty box and leveled by Meredith. Greg Mallon calls a penalty on Meredith for the hit. Watch Meredith lay him out. The call is Shaughnessy gets to absorb that hit, but the play is in the rule book that you must get a step
That's his call.
on a feed from the goalie. When the goalie makes an outlet pass And the receiver, the guy receiving the ball, is watching that ball. You've got to give him a chance to catch it and take a step before you blindside him. And the blindside hit will put Meredith into the penalty box. Rich Tamburino is taking charge of things on the field. Now Stu Aird starts the 4-on-4. Each team with a man in the penalty box. Each team with one goal. 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Playing for the right to the championship. Here comes Cordingley with a shot, and it's scooped up by Dietrich.
Keep playing, you got it. Keep playing. No 10 seconds. It's even up.
Now, Rich Tamburino is getting the team to keep playing because even though you're in the crease, it doesn't really affect the game. They'll let the small infractions go to keep the game moving. Being hacked on is Dwayne Jacobs. He's a great shooter, part of the Wild Bunch. Driscoll trying to get open off the ball. Cordingley against Jacobs. Cordingley playing defense over. Finally picked up and intercepted by Tavares, number 11, for the Buffalo squad in the orange and black. Johnny Tavares, the best in this game in 1994. Number 11, here's now Veltman, who's really stepped up his offensive game in the absence of some veterans who left the team this year. Veltman, number 32, controls the ball. Has 130 loose balls, Veltman does, at the end of the regular season. That is about 1/3 the total number of the Detroit team. Tavares, little scoop shot into the far side. Now they dish it back to Veltman. Bounce shot, saved by Dietrich. Both teams looking to get the transition going there. Great finishing teams. Back to Stewart. Misses the shot. Wide to his left. Driscoll. Still 1-1. 7:54 left. First playoff game for 1994. The winner will play the winner of Philadelphia, New York. That'll happen the 16th, right on ESPN at 2:30. Live. Pete Park, he already has an assist. Pulls his way in on Stu Aird. Shoots wide to the right. Look at Pete Park. So tough to cover. Bob Hamley in against 3 defensive players for Detroit. Park comes back in, follows the plan, makes Hamley give it up. Teammate Brian Nicula. Ryan Hall, number 17. It's a stick check that took the ball away from him. Hamley will have a shot, tries to go low. Big save by Dietrich. Great ball movement by Buffalo, but Dietrich made the big slide. Brian Nicula to the far side. Again, Brian Hall takes a shot at Dietrich. A fan down low by Tyson Lias. A lot of shots. Can Dietrich hold up? Here comes Nicula, the defense, very active. Check from behind by Adam Mueller, number 16.
Holding orange.
Holding against Adam Mueller, number 16. A fresh shot clock at 30. A lot of offense. Aggressive defense by Detroit, taking away real good shots. But Dietrich has been forced to make about 4 saves on this one series. Ryan Hall, 17 now. Being played by Meredith. The switch, Park now on Hall. Hall's very quick, very small. Park stays with him for the moment. Hamley gets the loose ball. Look how important loose balls are. They've had 6, 7 shots in one series. Will they get another one? Park picks it up. No, finally back to Dietrich. The loose balls have given Buffalo 4, 5, 6 shot series.
Timeout.
Detroit doesn't like it, so they call a timeout. Shane Sanderson wants to get that defense worked out. It's all tied at 1. There are 6 minutes, 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Come on back to the Augs in a moment.
Presentation on ESPN. We're all tied at 1 in a playoff game, which is going to determine the championship of the Major Indoor Lacrosse League next Saturday. Which team from here will go to the championship game? You'll see that live on ESPN at 2:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you can join us. Here on the bench, Leaf, I'll tell you right now, Shane Sanderson, in that huddle, he told his team, he said, hey, we get the ball, we want to watch to see where the ball is, slow it down, keep possession, and use it to our ability to score and take your time. Slow it down. They're coming out a little too fast.
Out of the tempo when you're looking for one shot in the playoffs. Another shot on Bill Geary. He makes a save. I'm impressed, Chrissy, with what Detroit has done with the tempo of the game. They've had a lot of shots. They've taken a lot on the defensive end, but not good shots. They're putting a lot of sticks on the offensive players. Right now, we've got a player coming into the bench for the Bandits.
2-minute
and 2-minute holding call on Stu Aird. So Stu Aird gets 2 minutes in the penalty box.
Right here.
And again, Detroit will have a chance to take the lead. They'll have another power play. 5 against 4, triggered by number 14, Meredith. Meredith pushes the defense in. He's compressing the defense. Look how tight they get. But the shot was wide, and Geary takes it. One gives it to the off the bench side. Shaughnessy now gives it to Tavares. This team from Buffalo, folks, can score man down. That's right, man down. Like they are now, 4 of their guys against 5 from Detroit. They can score in this situation better than anybody in the league. They've done it many times. They confuse you with good ball movement. Right now, Tavares is a little bit confused because Detroit set up a very, very patient wall of 5 defenders straight across the lane of the goal. They didn't get over anxious. They didn't give Tavares room to make some moves. Over and back, they'll call it on Detroit. You cannot take it to the offensive end of the field and then bring it back to the defensive end. Tavares on a quick, fast break. Underhand shot. Saved by Dietrich. Tavares against 3 players. Shaughnessy helps him out. No, this is Tyson Lyons, the rookie. Jimmy Beltman, 32. Back to Lyons. He's got a hand on a shot. Watch Lyons come in. He's powerful and big. But a save by Dietrich off the defensive play of number 17, Terry Bullen. Bullen gets called for the hold. Terry Bullen is the co-captain, as I mentioned, the team leader. Now it'll be, again, Buffalo ball. 4:50 left in the first quarter, still tied at 1. Tyson Lyons now on the outside against Terry Bullen. Inside, close. Almost a shot. Beltman couldn't pick it up cleanly. And now here comes the offense. With 32 seconds left on the power play. Hustle index has Buffalo ahead 16-8. That's what gives them 4, 5, 6 shots in the offensive end. But Dietrich has been exceptional. And now here is Detroit with a chance to go ahead. This is their power play. They have not gotten good shots. There's a rebounding backdoor shot by Ted Dowling. 4 seconds left on the penalty. Meredith takes the last shot, tries to get it to Driscoll, did not get it. Shot clock expires, so they blew the opportunity. I tell you, you're not doing much when you have a power play and you don't even get a shot on the goal. So Shane Sanderson will have something to say about that. Meanwhile, Lansing levels Brian Mikula, number 12.
Don't do it again,
Buffalo.
Bulls. You'll get 2 minutes next time.
You hear Rich Tamburino saying you'll do it again, you'll get 2 minutes next time. He let it go that time. It was a technical violation. Brian Hall takes a shot. Dietrich comes out beautifully to cut the angle. Shoulder save. Nicula, number 12, could not pick it up. Now deep in the corner is Glenn Lay. Glenn Lay comes out. Big defense by Detroit. Knocks the ball loose. The ground balls. The push. Really a number that Buffalo controls. Their team concept has them controlling the ground balls led by Jim Belton. Tavares second in the league. In fact, 4 of the top 5 ground ball guys of the year are Buffalo Bandits. Wayne Jacobs, 21. Against Tyson Lyons. Lyons with an over-the-head check, but doesn't get it cleanly and off the pipe. Still 1-1 with 3:25 left in the first. Ball goes all the way back to Dietrich. Dietrich comes out. Look at this. They're going to put 6 men on. They put 10 on this early in the game. Detroit now with no goalie, 6 players against 5. They are pulling out all the stops early in the game. All right, penalty is what's providing the opportunity for them, so there was a delayed call. Pick up the penalty. I thought they were pulling all the stops. Wrong. They had a delayed call. Brian Hall had made. Almost called me in the head there. 5 positions, folks. It's right here in the penalty box. Part of our deuce coverage, unique positioning. Brian Hall now spent a little bit of time in the next 2 minutes until he cools down. He's not happy. I guess you get that hint.
Okay, here's the ball.
Rich Tamburino now gives it to Meredith. But they'll have another chance with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter and score 1-1. Buffalo has really done a great job of keeping this power play for Detroit from being very effective. But they'll have to stand up to 2 more minutes again. And this is tough to do. He was talking about them being control of Detroit. They have been, but this power play has been a little bit pitiful so far. They're putting a lot of pressure on the defense, a lot of pressure on Bill Geary. Finally make it pay off. Not on that shot. There's Kilgore, number 43, brings it down with Stuart to his left. Kilgore, big and strong from Nazareth. Comes into Stuart. He's got Stroom. He's got Stroke. could be man down. Look at Dietrich. It's a fast break. Giving it over to Aird. He gets the goal, man down to go ahead 2-1. Don't miss all the action of the NASCAR Winston Cup, Sunday, April 10th, 1 p.m., 10 a.m. Pacific time. Bristol International Raceway in Bristol, Tennessee. Great racing on ESPN. Right now, we're at the Alden Buffalo. Stu Aird. This guy is one of the greatest stories in the league. He is a second-team All-Pro. He turned 37 this month. In this game, lacrosse, you get the feeling so far, I'm sure, is a very physical, fast game played by young guys. Stu Aird's a great athlete, knows where he's supposed to be at all times, conserves energy at all times, and can do it all. This year, he's been an impact player for Buffalo. So Detroit, after squandering another power play, has a chance yet to score. Watch out. The ball loose and not getting good shots. Finally, Jacobs gets one. But again, it did not reset the shot clock. They have not really gotten good shots against Geary. I think they are waiting too long. If I'm Shane Sanderson, I'll say, look, when you're in that close from the top points, fire it at Geary and put some pressure on them. They are making 2 and 3 passes, and they don't make them cleanly enough. The great defense for Buffalo is taking away all their shots. What they need to do, the Detroit Turbos, is get some hard shots on the goalie. Right now, 38 seconds left on the penalty to Brian Hall, who just solved to see Buffalo score man down. All right, they gave that one away. Shot clock violation. They just wanted to eat up the 30 seconds. Detroit was patient. They'll get the ball back. They'll have 30 seconds left in this penalty. Oh, they throw it to Pete Park. He didn't see it coming. Detroit, the purple and silver. Buffalo, the home team, the defending world champions in the orange and black. Veltman out of the sky. Again, Detroit trying to pass too cleanly across the cylinder. You can't do it against them. Watch there's Kilgore. He couldn't pick up the fast break. Veltman tried to get another man down goal, and they were a little too anxious. 3 seconds left. Shane Sanderson, hands up in the air. What is going on? He wants his team off. He wants fresh legs on. Again, another power play opportunity gone to waste. Stu Aird gets the ball checked out by Rennick. Terry Bolin couldn't pick it up. Hall, 17 against 17. Brian Hall against Terry Bolin. Bolin about 8 inches taller than Brian Hall. Height doesn't do it for you in this league. 50 seconds. The shorter player with power can do all the impact stuff in this league because there's such a great change of direction in Major League Lacrosse. Again, a penalty against Detroit. Lancey was holding down Tavares. I think Lancey will get the call. Let's see what happens. Cordingley takes a shot, and he pays for it. Still, they have the ball. They have a chance to get a shot before the penalty. Shot clock violation. With 25 seconds left in the first quarter, a 2-1 lead for Buffalo. They'll be on the power play. John Lancey comes into the box. He was playing defense against John Tavares.
2-3, blue, Ralph. 2-3,
Roughing was the call. And look at Dietrich. He's got an equipment problem, so he'll go to the sideline. So again, with 25 seconds left, they'll have a 2-minute penalty. Buffalo, you watch, they'll get a good shot on Dietrich, and they've been working Dietrich out. He is tired. We'll be back with the closing moments to the first quarter. Stay with us. Tonight, he has kept us team minute. Look at the pressure he's been under. The ball comes down low as he came out to make the save, and he has to make the save on the backdoor shot. He does by sticking his stick out right in the face of the shooter. 15 saves already for Dietrich. That puts him on an incredible pace for 70 saves if he can keep it up. I don't know, or 60 saves rather, if he can keep it up. Ball down low, power play. They don't get the shot. Rosa makes the defensive call. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Buffalo, orange and black, the defending champions on a power play. 5 of their players against 4. The Detroit Turbos. Now they rotate around. There's Kilgore, hard shot, shoulder save. Dietrich is exceptional in the first quarter. He's kept his team in it. The clock winding down. That'll do it. First quarter ends. Detroit has a lot of squandered opportunities on the power play. When the second quarter starts, Buffalo will be a man up. They are up by 1 goal, 2-1. We're heading into the second quarter. Back to the odd in Buffalo. The defending world champion Buffalo Bandits a slim 2-1 lead. Hey, tomorrow night, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. 8 p.m., the Florida Marlins versus the San Diego Padres, 8 p.m. live. That's Eastern Time. Exclusive ESPN Sunday baseball coverage. And tonight, folks, they're thinking about playoffs. If you look at the first quarter stats, Buffalo leading in every category, 18-10 in shots, 19-13 in loose balls, and they seem to dominate that category every game. Face-offs even, that's a surprise. The Buffalo Bandits fans, the seventh man who told you about that story, they really give their team a lift. The seventh man has been a big boost to the success of this program. They won 22 straight games, Buffalo did, before Boston earlier this year. Right now they're still 5-on-4. They switch goals. This is Buffalo going against the four players. Backdoor, no. Tried to get the backdoor shot. Couldn't quite put it in. That was Tavares. Geary comes out, and they'll give the ball a backcourt violation. Gives it back to Detroit. There's a minute and 11 seconds left for the penalty on Lancey for Detroit. Now this is Detroit in purple and silver with a man short. Dwayne Jacobs comes on. They have 20 seconds on the shot clock. They have to be very careful. 4 guys for Detroit. You'll see Buffalo go ahead and let them work the perimeter. Buffalo will stay in a box with a man in the middle. They just want to go ahead and give them the 30 seconds and hopefully get a shot when they get the ball back. And that's exactly what they did. Peter Park tried to pick it up with good defense. Now here comes Darius Kilgore, number 43 for Buffalo. He waits for the power play to get back on and bounce up. He knows he has about 37 seconds. Money to get a good shot. He just want to get to 1 goal. Hamley triggers from up top, down low, up to Darius Kilgore. Kilgore with a great fake move. Tried to get it back accordingly. Worked a great give and go there. And here's Hammer with a shot against Dietrich, but Dietrich has been sensational. Veltman dishes it off now, back up to Hamley. Kilgore with another shot and another glove save. They're going to the glove side, but Dietrich taking the glove and save. Kilgore again. He's close, and he misses the corner. Veltman, shot clock down to 23. Penalty down to 6. They try to give it to Darius Kilgore, but he's defended by Rosa. Ball will go back now to Detroit. Rosa with a great defensive play. Rosa, Terry Bullen getting the appeal to the refs. Coyle and Brian Hall going at it. Here comes Bob Hamley, number 28. He rockets upfield, gets checked behind by Ciccone. Gives it off to Nicola, who could not find the handle. Number 12, Dietrich picks it up, a loose ball, and they try to push it back up. Christy Lee, the pace is exactly what we thought it would be. What's the Buffalo bench look like?
Well, I'll tell you, Leaf, I was able to listen in on Les Bartley's little pep talk to his team just a few moments ago. The first thing he said is, keep doing the things we're doing well, the loose balls, the face-off. And Leaf, you and I talked about this early. Detroit is in a disadvantage in the face-off situation, missing one of their best face-off guys tonight. But he also said, in a power play situation, go right on Dietrich. So we might want to watch for that coming up a little bit later on if we get back into that situation.
All right, Chrissy, and the face-offs can be critical. They dominated face-offs last week. Buffalo did, and it was Derek Graham who has been the sensational face-off man throughout the year. Derek Graham is not with them, but this is Tyson Elias finding rope. He's a young talent, and he just did it all by himself. 3-1, Buffalo. Watch how strong Elias is. He comes in against the defense of Driscoll, gets pulled down, keeps the ball in his stick, beats another defender, and rockets that ball past Dietrich. Dietrich thinks it's saved once, twice, and then he says, come on, guys, he's on the floor. He couldn't believe the shot by the great Tyson Elias. This rookie is impressive. One of the rising stars for the Buffalo Bandits, number 49, Tyson Elias. Next time we get a close-up of him, you'll see his face mask is cut away. He has just opened up the top by his eyes. A ball can go in there. He customized to keep just the part around his jaw. He wants the open vision. Leaves him vulnerable. But that's the way he likes it. Brian Nicola tried to race down and get the fast break. 3-1 now. Buffalo leads. They get the first goal in the second quarter on an exceptional effort by Tyson Elias. 11:52 left in the half. There he is. Look at that mask. He cut away the top bars. He's open for hits. Matter of fact, he took stitches earlier this year. Came back on and played because of that open area above his jawline. Another penalty. This time it'll be Dowling, number 19, coming back to the penalty box. Christy Lee talked about it. If Detroit puts themselves in the penalty box, and let me remind you, folks, we haven't talked about it too much, but Detroit leads the league in penalties. If they continue to give power play opportunities to Buffalo, they'll be in trouble. That shot after the play puts Dowling in the box. Dowling is really killing his team by going in the penalty box. Ryan Hall, though, gets a simultaneous call. Brian Hall in the box. Two players in the box will be playing even. Christy, what do you have for us?
Well, before we get into this power play situation, we have a guy who just scored a goal for us, Tyson Elias and the Buffalo Bandits. Tyson, we were discussing your face mask a little bit earlier. Can you explain the uniqueness of it for us?
All it is all through junior lacrosse and St. Catharines. I've been used to playing without a mask. Same with out west. It's just a security, I guess. I can see more of the ball, more of the playing field. This thing, I don't even like this, but you need something in this league.
Well, that was an incredible goal, and keep up the good work. Tyson Elias, a rookie lead on this Buffalo Bandit team.
And he is a handful. Here's Stu Aird, the great veteran. Came across, swept to the front. Oh, Hammer gets the board. Aird will have another shot. Dietrich makes yet another save. And this will be a call against, looks like another turbo. I think Kit Rennick is going to go in. Both 11s. Tavares, what? Tavares getting nailed from behind right there by Kit Rennick, number 11. This is the call that they want to take out of the game. This is so dangerous. Not only is it from behind, but it's high up to the neck area. Very vulnerable against the boards. That's why Rennick is going to spend some time in the box. Tavares, is he resilient? Yes. Is he great? You bet. MVP in the league. But taking a hit like that hurts every bit as much as it looks, folks. This is not ice. You don't slide. You don't have as much protection. You get rocketed into the boards, and it is a powerful hit. There's Kilgore over to Johnny Tavares. Now it's 4-on-3. A lot of guys in the penalty box. Oh, Kilgore takes one off the pipe. Geary comes out, makes the save. You're looking at 4-on-3. And Dietrich, who is so tired from taking a lot of shots early. Kilgore again. In low, backdoor, rope. Beautifully, 4-on-3, go back door. Right now, the defense gives the attention to the shooter, but he goes back door. The goalie can't slide. It's time, and it's an easy shot for Hammer Hamley. Dietrich, no chance to get there. Watch Dietrich give his attention to the shooter. There's Hammer up to your left. He just goes back door to an open net. Nothing but rope. 4-1, and you can hang this all on the penalties of Detroit. They have put themselves in a hole by letting Buffalo play with a one-man advantage. Buffalo has 2 power play goals and 1 shorthanded goal. So of their 4 goals, 3 of them have been when the teams were not even. They play so well in the broken field. And things are in chaos. This is a team that really knows how to stay under control. Les Bartley has them well schooled in what to do. And Hammer Hamley is the current hero. Christy Lee, let's talk to him.
That's right, Lee. Bob, the Hammer Hamley is with us right now. Bob, you obviously have found the secret to score on Steve Dietrich. What would that be?
Well, that one wasn't a tough one. Darren Stewart right my stick. I had an empty net, so I'll take those anytime I can get them. But Chuggers play well. We just got to keep shooting, and we'll get our goals.
Looks like you're doing well in that power play situation.
Yeah, well, we got a good power play. The 5 guys that we have are all can score, so we'll be all right.
Bob, the Hammer Hamley leads 4-1 Bandits.
And Christy, he called Steve Dietrich Chugger. That's his nickname up in Canada. They play all together in the summer leagues, and Chugger is what they give as the moniker for Steve Dietrich. You'll have to find out what that means. So 4-1 is the score. 9:36 left in the second quarter.
36!
Stu Aird gets a 2-minute call. That's what the play is right now. He'll come into the penalty box. I don't think we've played more than maybe, 5 minutes of this game, would you guess? The teams were of even strength. It's always been somebody in the box. Right now, it'll be Detroit with the power play. They have not shown anything. If I'm Shane Sanderson, I want to tell this team, go ahead and fire it from right there. Go ahead and put some pressure on Geary. You take the outside shot. They've been trying to work it too much. There's an outside shot, a save by Geary. Ball goes back to Buffalo. They have plenty of time. Detroit doesn't. They just remain patient. Ryan Hall takes it down. He's going against there. Hall may want to shoot. He comes in close looking for Rowe. to the Buffalo Bandits. They have the 4-1 lead. There's 9 minutes left in the first half. Now they can eat up another 30 seconds. The penalty to Stu Aird, 1 minute and 30 left on that. So this will take it down close to a minute. They'll look for an opportunity here. And as the time gets close to the end, Tyson Elias, whoever has the ball, will just dish it off to the corner. They're just going to go ahead and waste all the time. Now watch them. We'll just put it down the corner, whoever has it. 6 seconds left. Well, maybe they'll get a shot if they can. Oh, picked off in midair. This is the dangerous part. Cordingley takes a shot as the shot clock went down to 1. Dietrich under pressure again. He has been sensational. The last time these two teams met last week, Dietrich did not have a great game. 62% save percentage, which is really not good in the league. The league averaged a little over 70. Meanwhile, the other end of the field, Geary was having 82 save percentage tonight. Right now, Geary is playing well, and Dietrich has been on top of his game. Maybe the most exceptional game of the year for Steve Dietrich. Ball comes down, trying to find toward the box area. A lot of trouble trying to get open. Tavares getting checked from behind. Off stick hand. Hold. Fall on Pat Coyle. Technical foul. Gives it back to Buffalo. 8 minutes left. 4-1. They lead. Try to figure out who's got who. We've got a man advantage still for Detroit. So Buffalo with the ball is playing 4 players against the 5 for Detroit. Tavares gets called for a moving pick. Pat Coyle levels him as he tries to run off the field. Tell you what, there's a lot of hitting off the ball when you're watching the action. You watch the periphery because a lot of hits are coming on players that don't have the ball. 4-1. Here's the power play again for Detroit. Back up to Meredith. He'll shoot on Geary. The ball doesn't get through the defense. Smothered by Belton. Meredith reloads. 15 seconds. Jacobs bounces it. Geary, big save. Another one swept away. Dowling trying to get one. Comes in, looks for air. He's got rope. Finally, Dowling and Detroit get a golden power play. There was only 1 second left in the penalty to Stu Aird. Watch the tenacity from your left. Dowling will come in and just beat the players. Dowling loves to come from the corner, comes in, beats 2 players. 4-2, a 2-goal lead for Buffalo.
Indoor Lacrosse League championship game can be seen right here on ESPN starting at 2:30 p.m. live Eastern Daylight Time next Saturday. We want to see you. We're at the Odd in Buffalo where we have a score of 4-2. Bandits are leading, and I want to make this observation really quickly. Stu Aird just came out of the penalty box, and you may have noticed he's nursing his shoulder. He got cross-checked pretty hard on his shoulder blade, and they're putting ice on it every time he comes to the bench, so you might want to watch out. Stu Aird having some great games this season, but he might be a little bit under the weather.
All right, Chrissy, well, a lot of the players playing with some injuries, and now we know Stu Aird has won. Troy Courtney, we might tell you, has been nursing a sore heel the whole year. Courtney, number 40. Aird, number 36. Both playing less than 100% at this point. Darius Kilgore was out for 1 whole game with an injury.
The ball stays on.
Hold call against... Well, let's see now. They're going to give it back to Buffalo. Teams now at even strength. Nobody in the penalty box. That's rare. Playing 5 against 5. That's the normal load, folks. Each team allowed 17 players. You play 5 on the field. So you've got 3 lines basically running so they can't breathe anymore. And they come on. About 2 runs up and down the field. A fast break. Here comes Mueller. He's got for a trailer. And he is ridden off by Brian Silcott. Mueller, number 16 from Michigan State. Great player.
Easy.
Silcott played at Nazareth. And he wrote him off. And now play back to Geary out of the goal. Pete Park trying to get to him. And there's another help by Rosa. Geary's in trouble. He comes out alive with the ball. Gives it to Silcott. Great play. Accordingly, looking for help now. Doesn't see it. Troy takes the shot himself. And an easy kickoff by Dietrich. That was a surprise shot by Accordingly. Maybe he thought he was catching Dietrich by surprise, but it was really not a great shot. Accordingly, a little bit, well, you might say, surprised at his own lack of scoring. The last to start off so hot. Timeout called by Detroit. 4-2. The Bandits lead. 6:15 left. And Shane Sanderson calls a timeout with his team on offense. He wants to get a goal. We'll be back to the Odd with our Deuce coverage on the mothership of major indoor lacrosse. Auditorium, Lee Felsmo and Christy Lee. This is our ESPN2 coverage on ESPN as we move toward the playoffs. 2 of them this weekend. The championship is next week live on ESPN. The 16th. It's a Saturday, 2:30 Eastern time. Don't miss it. You can tell this game is exciting. exciting and great to watch. There's a shot, the play called, and the timeout by Shane Sanderson gives the ball to his veteran Meredith, and Jim Meredith from Ontario came off a pick and gives them their third goal. They're back to within. Watch him move off the pick of Mueller. He comes in, makes a little move. Accordingly, does not come out to pick him up, and he beats Geary with a shot. They really haven't shot too much on Geary. Watch Geary open up the side to his right. He doesn't give him much to shoot at, but there it goes hip high right to the far pipe. That play was called on a timeout. They got possession of the ball. Shane Sanderson called a timeout. He must have known what he wanted, and he got it. Back to within one. This was a nail fighter for the home folks here in Buffalo. 4-3 with 5:30 left in the first half. Rich Kilgore gives it off to Stuaire. This is Johnny Tavares. Checked by and now Detroit gets the ball back. I tell you what, one of the big stories in this first half will be the play of Steve Dietrich in the goal. For Detroit, he has been exceptional. Really the reason this game is so close. A lot of scoring so far on power plays. The open 5-on-5 defenses have dominated. Driscoll, part of the Wild Bunch, far side. Watch out, looking for Rope. Big save, a follow-up, and a goal. Driscoll, the Wild Bunch makes an impact. 2 goals in a row. Now the game tied at 4. I can tell you the goalie situation for Detroit is easy. Dietrich has gone most of the year. He'll stay there. But this man, Geary, so he gets a little tired. Here's the next shot that goes in. He makes the good save first, then the follow-up by Driscoll. Puts the ball behind him. Really, you can't fault Geary, obviously. Geary makes the big save there. Now, right there is Hartle, number 21. He doesn't get Jacobs out of the way, and it was Jacobs, who gets the goal. Another angle on it. Dwayne Jacobs standing tall. I thought it was Driscoll. It's Jacobs down low. Jacobs just takes the follow-up shot and bats it over the head of the defender. Dwayne Jacobs' 12th goal of the season. The Wild Bunch making an impact. The game all tied at 4 with 4:44 left on the deuce. The odd, all tied at 4. Second quarter action. Lee Ells, Christy Lee. I went to the break saying we're on the deuce. Well, don't get confused. Don't call your cable operator. This is our deuce presentation on ESPN. We've had a 12-game regular season Monday night coverage. This is our playoff. 2 playoff games. This being one of them, and then live championship coverage on ESPN on the 16th. This now an all-important game for that championship, but it's tied at 4. 4-1 was the score with Buffalo in command, but then Detroit came back with 3 straight goals to tie it up. They look very calm and confident. Ciccone now, number 2, moving around against Brian Hall, defending. Dowling getting it deep in the corner. Tyson Lyons playing defense, and Ciccone comes in to make a pick against his defender. Shot clock violation. It'll go back now to the Buffalo Bandits. Ryan and Hall and Lay come off, and now the first line comes back on. Christy Lee, we're getting kind of tight here with not much time left in the first half.
Boy, I'll tell you, Leaf, this Bandit bench is excited because they just scored a goal. That's Bartley just told his team, hey, Bob Hamley, you guys, we need to tighten our defense and then open them up on the other end. And it seemed to have worked because Hammer's had another goal here at the odd, and that puts them ahead by 1 goal. These teams play tough every time they meet. The first meeting, Bandits by 1, 17-16. Second time here was a close one, but then the Bandits took it away 18-10. How could that happen again? Well, we'll have to wait and see, Lee.
And Hammer Hamley, as you can see, getting a shot against the defense that was giving attention to the wings. That's his second goal of the night. The Hammer making an impact. 5-4. Buffalo now leads with 3 minutes left in the half. Sporting League looking for Rope. A big save by Dietrich. Accordingly playing on that sore heel. The ball given up now to Rosa. Accordingly drags him down the field. Dowling now gets it deep. Dowling likes to take it down in the corner and work from there. Against Stuaire. Now tries to find Park. Looking for Rope. He can't find the net. Ball starts from behind. It gets Geary turning both ways.
Release!
Very tough on the goalie when they start the ball from behind, because then, of course, he has to pivot. Tough for him to get a good read and get in the proper position. Shot clock violation. How many times has that happened? Too many for Shane Sanderson and his offensive team. You've got to get some heat on the goalie. You don't want to give up any opportunity. It's happened too many times in Detroit. They are playing well, though. It's 5-4, anybody's ball game. Indoor lacrosse, if you're within 3 goals, you can do it. Believe me, you score fast in major indoor lacrosse. Jimmy Veltman, number 32, gets checked by Coyle, tries to get it inside to Kilgore, and who tried to give it back to Veltman. Veltman wearing the C is one of the captains. Geary attracts the defensive park and gives it back to him. Now watch Cordingley looking for the corner. A big save by Dietrich. Cordingley now will come off. Fresh legs will come on and play defense. Will be Hargel, 21. We're down to 1:53, under 2 minutes with a 1-goal lead for Buffalo, but Detroit has the ball. Meredith, this man had 4 goals last week. He was the leader in the offensive end for Detroit against the same Buffalo Bandits. This is a good matchup for them. Stu Aird against Mueller. Mueller's young and big. He comes in, beats Aird with the first step in the crease. Or a pick violation, I believe, they're called. And it will be Buffalo ball, 1:32 left. First half. 1-goal lead for the defending champions in the orange and black. Tavares' line now switches up with Hamby. It's been very effective. You know that. He's got 2 goals. So they're not losing anything to this line. There's Kilgore. He can shoot from there. The big right hand. Looks in close. Shaughnessy can't find it. Ball's loose. This is usually won by the Buffalo Bandits. They are so tough, but this time Lee comes up big. Lee being right from behind. He gives it up. And he is hammered afterwards. That'll be a penalty against Darius Kilgore. So now Detroit will be extra, plus they get a shot. It's a delayed call. Detroit switching some players around. Shot clock down to 13. They'll get a shot, and then they'll have a penalty situation. They want to make it count, though. They want a good shot. Driscoll comes in. Back door! No! A big save by Geary. Whistle blows. 38 seconds left. A 1-goal lead for Buffalo, but Dwayne Jacobs shaking his head because he knows they'll be man down. Geary now makes a big save down low. Look, back door. He just brushes it enough to take it to the pipe. The splits for Bill Geary. And Darius Kilgore will come into the penalty box. 2 minutes on him. 38 seconds left in the half.
Reporting the foul now. We'll be set in 10 seconds.
Unnecessary roughness is the call against Darius Kilgore. It came on the clearing play away from the benches. They had given the ball up, Detroit did, and Darius just leveled the player into the boards. Now they'll try to lock and load the power play. Meredith up top. Meredith making a couple fakes. Watch it. Far side. Driscoll misses it. That's 18 square feet, 4 by 4.5. Now Meredith with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. 19 in the first half. Back to Meredith. He can't get a shot because of Jimmy Veltman. But finally, Dowling comes up, looks in close to Park, looking for Rowe, can't get it. Big defensive push. Buffalo so tough, clogging up the middle. 5 seconds left, and this is the way the half will end. Again, they burn up a power play for Detroit. Detroit's power play is killing them. If they score on half of their power plays, Detroit would be ahead. But they're not. Buffalo leads 5-4. A slim lead as they go into the half. We'll be back with our Deuce coverage on ESPN and an all-pro feature from the Aud in Buffalo. Never get a second chance to make a first impression. Welcome to our Coors Light halftime report. It is a sensational game, everything we expected. The stats for the first half show you Buffalo with a slim lead. Shots on goal, they lead dramatically, 35-18, and if Detroit takes more shots, Buffalo will be in trouble. Loose balls, 34-28 in control of Buffalo, as we expected. Saves, it's all in the Detroit area because the goalie, Steve Dietrich, has been under intense pressure, but he has come up big. 30 saves, that's incredible. Face-offs in the favor of Buffalo, but the big key there is the last stat, too, is that the power play really totally ineffective for Detroit, and they have gotten goals in the power play on the Buffalo side. As a matter of fact, they scored when they were a man down. If Detroit scored on half of their power plays, they'd be leading right now. And Buffalo and Detroit, I'm sure, are talking about that right now in the benches. Talk about shooting. Well, let's show you the shot charts to give you an idea of how effective the offenses have been. The Turbos, 5 shots right in the middle, the red zone. No goals to show for it. That is critical. Too much moving the ball around, allowing the defense to get sticks on their shots. Their goals come from the wings, 3 and 1. That is really critical. They've got to get goals from the red zone. The Turbos moving the ball a little too carefully for the Bandits. They have moved it around nicely, but you can see 2 goals from the red zone, 2 from close on the back door. Those are backdoor shots. Remember Hammer Hamleys. They have been moving the ball well and getting the shots and the goals right in the face of Dietrich. So it's a close game. 1-goal lead by the Buffalo Bandits, the defending champions. We'll be back with third quarter action from the Aug in just a moment. Buffalo, Leif Elsmo, Christy Lee. It's our ESPN2 coverage on ESPN, the mothership. We are giving you a dose of this fabulous sport, major indoor lacrosse. We've gone through 12 regular season games every Monday night on the Deuce. You'll also see this Monday night, the other playoff game. It'll be on the Deuce Monday night. But right now, second half action. Beltman comes in as the opening face-off of the second half and almost gives Buffalo another goal. Buffalo in the orange and black, the defending champions, 2-time defending champions, have a slim 1-goal lead. 5-4 the score. And if you're wondering if that's a big score, it's not. They are under their yearly averages, both teams. So right now, this game has been dictated by defense and the goalies. The Bandits average 15 goals a game. The Turbos average 12 goals a game. Shaughnessy now brings the ball down with the second offensive set after Veltman exploded off the faceoff right into the face of Dietrich. And that's something to remember. Dietrich, who had such a great first half, something like 30 saves on a 60-save pace, made the first save only seconds into the second half. Detroit in the purple and silver. 5-3 on the year. That check goes right to his face. Takes his helmet. That'll give them a delayed penalty. Whoa. Already Darius Kilgore is in the penalty box. Tavares checked and just caught his face mask. This will be tough. Watch Tavares come in and just catch him in the face. Coyle maintains composure. Again, John comes in, tries to swat at the stick, and doesn't even get close. Anything up around the head gives him trouble. So now there'll be 2 men down, 5 against 3. 1 second now. Darius Kilgore comes in too late. It'll be Driscoll with a shot on Bill Geary. And the penalty was up on Kilgore, which means Tavares goes back in too. So they got a break, even though they scored a goal to tie it up. 5-5 with a power play goal. We talked about the power play. I'm sure in the halftime they talked about getting shots out front like that. Pressure on Geary. They weren't doing this in the first half. They weren't putting tough shots on him. Here, a good shot from out front finally makes Geary do something in the goal. He has been sensational, but not tested to the extent that the other goalie, Steve Dietrich, for Detroit has. So 5-5. And again, a break as we look at Shane Sanderson. The penalty to the first man, Darius Kilgore, had just expired when they scored the goal. And the goal gave the other man, that was John Tavares, the opportunity to regain the game. So now we're back to even strength. A break for Buffalo. If it had been scored moments before that, Tavares would have had to stay in the penalty box for another 2 minutes, or close to 2 minutes. Dowling now in the corner. He gets doubled by Cordingley and held by Darius Kilgore. Technical foul. Ball goes back to Detroit. 5-5. And let me tell you something. Detroit is sending some shockwaves through the Aug. You all know at home how tough it is to beat a good team 3 times in 1 year, and that's what Buffalo has to do. Can they? We're not sure. It's tied at 5. They beat Detroit twice this year already, 17-16 the first game that they met early in the season. Very close game, obviously, and then they beat them last week, the last game of the regular season. And that was not quite as close. But 18-10 was the score there. Glenn Lay for Buffalo against Terry Bullen. Lay to Brian Nikulov, takes the shot to the far side, and it did not even hit the goal. Shot clock still counting down. The ball's out of bounds. It'll be given to Detroit. Detroit now with the ball, and Pete Park, number 9, he likes to park himself, as it were, down close to the goal. He starts up high here. Meredith, 14. Adam Mueller, 16. Big game last week. Mueller comes in, looks for air, finds Rowe. Detroit leads 6-5. And Buffalo cannot believe it. Mueller with a big game last week. He was definitely getting special attention. Watch him come in and go for air and just doesn't really lunge, but brings the stick into the cylinder and beats Geary. Geary starts sliding in to cover the angle and leaves a little bit of open space to his left, and Adam Mueller finds it. 6-5. 2 goals scored in the third quarter, both by Detroit. Shane Sanderson got some things squared away. With all the opportunities in the first half, Detroit didn't have the lead, but they had the opportunities, and they're taking advantage of them in the third quarter. Something to think about. Dietrich, playing great, will probably stay in the goal unless he is banged up, hurt, or shot. Not quite true in the Buffalo goal. Bill Geary has been sharing time with Ross Cowley. You be the coach. How long do you let Bill Geary stay in there? When do you go to Ross Cowley, who has started most of your games this year? Cowley was the number 1 guy. He's on the bench. We'll see. Driscoll comes in, tries to find Rowe, doesn't get it. Big save by Billy Geary. Stuaire, the veteran. What a year he's had. Second team All-Pro. Air comes in against Jacobs. Jacobs has a size advantage and youth advantage. Air, very good off the ball. Gives to the cutting player. Tavares slam dunk, Rowe. Dietrich can't believe it. Tavares gets it from Air, and then he fakes it to the near side and just dips it past his hip. What an acrobatic play by Tavares. Watch him make Dietrich go up to his right. He makes Dietrich go to his right and then just lays it on the far side. Dietrich was committed. Again, Dietrich will commit to the first fake up high off his feet, and then it's just laid in behind him. What a play by Tavares. That, folks, is why he was voted by his peers, voted by the players to be the most valuable player in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. 6-6. Third quarter, Sanderson has to be happy. His team is right in this game. It was in Detroit earlier this year where the Detroit Turbos had an 8-1 explosion to almost beat the beat the Bandits in the first matchup of the season. And they matched that today. That one comes off the pipe. Geary picks up. Geary can't find it. He's looking for help from the ref. Where's the ball? He finally was covering it up. The goalie's protected by the crease. Once he has possession in that little circle around the goal, you cannot go in there and challenge him. Now the Buffalo Bandits. This is Tavares, number 11, just scored the last goal from Stuaire. He can shoot from out there. Tries to give it inside to the Hammer. Hamley was locked up by Lancey, so Lancey gets caught for the hold. They'll give it back to Tavares up top. He'll reload this tough offense accordingly. Troy Courtney, second-year man, great player. He gets wrapped up by 2 players. He's got to give it up. He doesn't. Oh, and he's knocked to the ground. 2 minutes for Coyle. Oh, major call. Major call. Well, Pat Coyle just took his team out of the game. Pat Coyle just took his team out of the game. I'm going to tell you right now, Sanderson losing control of his team, and that's Greg Mallon, the ref. I don't have to tell you, you don't do that. This team from Detroit has turned into the bad boys of the league. A lot of these guys will not be back next year. He just got the major call. That means 5 minutes non-releasable, and Pat Coyle does the unthinkable. He goes back and makes contact with the ref. This man will not be in the league next year, I can guarantee you. That's a Bush move of the highest degree. Pat Coyle does not belong in the league, and the league won't stand for that kind of behavior. That's a Bush call. There's Coyle making that move. That's not very much of a man coming in there and hitting a guy when he's down. And then he goes up and hits a referee. Forget the respect part. The referee doesn't have any equipment on. But the suspect's all you need to make sure Coyle doesn't walk back on the field anymore in this league, and I can assure you he will not.
Will be served by another player.
Greg Mallon seems to be okay.
They're 2 men down.
10 minutes left.
Okay? 2 goals will release both players.
6-6. Rich Tamburino's getting it all set out. Matt Coyle's gone. Detroit will be a man down for a long time. We'll be back. Buffalo has a chance to take over the game.
Buffalo, where we're all tied up 6-6. Pat Coyle of the Detroit Turbos has been ejected from this game. Just moments before that ejection, Pat Coyle came into this box. Shane Sanderson, his coach, said, Pat, don't question the referees. Keep your cool. We can't afford it. Not 2 minutes later, he goes out. He does the unthinkable leap. He throws down, pushes down a ref. Pat's out of the game, and the Turbos, they could be out as well.
Well, Christy, you're absolutely right, and I said it before, I think that will take Detroit out of the game. They are 6-6 in score, but Pat Coyle, with a brainless move like that, is killing his team's chances of ever winning this game. The guy shouldn't be on the field, and he's not. Shane Sanderson has lost control because of the stubbornness of Pat Coyle. Now his team has to pay the price. They have a ton of guys in the penalty box. The first shot saved by Dietrich. Follow up, watch out. It's still loose. The ball down around the feet, picked up by Cordingley. Hold call will give it back to Buffalo. Right now you're looking at 5 players for Buffalo in the orange and black against 3 for Detroit. I can tell you what the penalties are for Detroit. There are 2 men in the box. Backdoor rope. Hamley, hat trick. Getting a hat trick, a backdoor shot. That's a second backdoor shot. Hamley, big night for him. The Pens were 2 minutes for roughing, 2 minutes for holding, a 10-minute misconduct, and a 5-minute unsportsmanlike. That all boils down to 2 players being in the box. Coyle's out of here. Number 6 is gone. Right now they've got Brian Lemon in the box and one other player. There's Shane Sanderson trying to get control of the bench. And I don't have to tell you that he doesn't have it. He's a good coach, but somewhere along the last few games, he has lost control of his team, and it's costing them dearly right here. Brian Lemon is in the box, along with Pat Lee. Now, Pat Lee is coming out, running across the field. As Adam Mueller goes down for the faceoff against Brian Silcott, number 4 for Buffalo. 7-6, Buffalo with a 1-goal lead. Now there's only, well, now there's still 2 men in the box. Lee went across, but looking at the shot clock. No, it's 5-on-4, so there's only 1 guy up on the penalty board. Hamley up top, backdoor, follow up to Hamley, great play. They gave it behind the goal to Tavares, who gave it right back to Hamley coming down the chute. But guess what? Steve Dietrich was just too big and too good to be fooled by that one. This is Adam Mueller. They're playing a man down, 4 against 5. Buffalo can take their time. Just under 4 minutes left in the penalty. Mueller comes in, gets knocked down by Kilgore. He's open, looking for air, backdoor to Park. Shot in, a save by Geary. Both goalies have gone the whole way. Bill Geary in the goal for Buffalo, number 39, and Steve Dietrich, numero uno, for purple and silver for Detroit. Feldman, locked and loaded on the offense, gives it up to Bob Hammer Hamley. Hamley again. There's Kilgore. This is a power play. Hard shot. Dietrich saves. Tavares tries to pick up the loose ball. He is shoved from behind. Hold call on Rosa. Rosa is arguing about it. But Buffalo will have the ball and a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock. They've got 3:23 left on this 5-minute major. Back door to Veltman. He couldn't pick it up. Hamley picks it up nicely inside. There's Kilgore. Watch how they get it down low. Veltman saves the loose ball. He does it so well. Now down low to Kilgore. Fakes inside, shoots outside. Don't fault Dietrich. Here he takes the inside fake. Gives him a little bit of white, a little bit of rope, and Kilgore nails it. 8-6.
Okay, the way the rule works, the first ball
And you can chalk up both of those to Mr. Pat Coyle. push moves on the field, hit one player who was down without even looking at him, hit him from behind, and then he hit a referee who was totally defenseless. And of course, has the respect of never being challenged. Coyle doesn't care. Coyle is gone as he should be, and his team will have to play with 14 field players, one man short for the rest of the way. So Coyle gives away 2 goals and takes away a player from James Anderson's field, and that's what they're left to play with. Let's see how they respond. Brian Silcott from Nazareth, number 4, facing off now against the Turbos, and that's 23, John Lancey. Detroit picks up from the faceoff. They're right in this game, folks. 3 goals or less, you are in the game. And with all that problem with the penalties, Detroit's still only 2 goals away from tying it up. Dwayne Jacobs looks inside, tries to give it to Ciccone, and he kicks the ball loose from the cylinder. You can see every time they get the ball in the cylinder, the defense of Buffalo just knocks them out. Shot clock down to 1, and they do not get a shot on the 4 by 4.5. Credit the defense of Buffalo. Time and time again, they've taken Detroit out of a good shooting situation. I think Detroit, personally, should shoot a little more from up top. Challenge Geary a little bit. Tire him out a little bit. You really haven't put many shots on in his face. Ciccone gives it up top. Stu Aaron gets whacked in the head twice. No call. A little bit of boo from the fans. Tavares now, underhand shot off the belly. Backdoor! Watch it. Steve Dietrich does all he can. Eric gets it all the way across to Tavares. Tavares takes an underhand shot, saved by Dietrich. But here's where the trouble comes. Hartle goes back door, and then a slam dunk into the net. You cannot let the backdoor man stand there unopposed. Look at the back door right now. He's wide open. Hartle sees him, and they just hammer it from there. Beautiful job. And Rich Kilgore gets the goal. 9-6. Now you're starting to get a little bit of room. Timeout called by Detroit with 6:43 left in the third. And 3 straight goals for Buffalo. This is the last one. They are on a roll. The Bandits, 9-6 leaders in the league. And that's why the Bandits will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They're known as the 7th man to this team. Les Bartley really feels the value of these fans is maybe 3 goals a game when you average it out over the season. Andy Shaughnessy picks up the ball. 3-goal lead for Buffalo. Detroit just called a timeout. Let's see how they respond. Shaughnessy backdoor. Darius Kilgore couldn't pick it up. Derek Lau gets it. Looks for rope, but Dietrich makes a great save. 15 goals per game. Second in the middle for the Buffalo Bandits team. That's down 3 goals from last year. That was Rich Tamburino. You'll hear him, I guess, as you have. He is the head referee, keeping law and order in a very rough game. The Bandits, 15-plus goals per game, second by just a fraction of a goal to the Philadelphia Wings, who are the odds-on favorite to win the other playoff game and meet them for the championship, the North American Cup playoff game next week, the 16th. 2:30 Eastern Time, live on ESPN. 5:30 left, still third period. Buffalo again, reloading. Ryan Nikulog comes in with the left hand, but again, another save by Dietrich. Dietrich has been about as good as you can get in the goal. His goals that have really hurt him have been backdoor goals, and you have to credit those to a lack of defense. The defense cannot give the backdoor man room to stand there, and the aggressive defense of Detroit has been leaving a little bit of room on the backside. There's a shot that comes in off the defense, and Bill Geary, who has gone the whole way, picks it up. They've got a great goalie situation, the Buffalo Bandits do. They've got Geary and Cowie. Dietrich is finally getting face-off man for Detroit. And Tamburino, the referee. Lancey wanting a ruling on some of the physical handling of the defense of Buffalo. That same man, John Lancey, picks it up and comes down the field. Finds Terry Bullen inside to the trailing player, but picked up by the human vacuum cleaner. Feldman gets it, and Lancey tackles John Tavares. It's only a technical call. It's a good play by Lancey because he only loses possession and probably saved a game. Or not saved a game, saved a goal. Watch this. Lancey has no chance. Tavares gets it. It's going to be a goal, so Lancey brings him down. And it wasn't a major foul, a technical foul. Only gives control back to Buffalo. A good play by Lancey. Had he been too rough with that check, it could have been 2 minutes in the box. Accordingly, number 40 into Tavares, who tries to sweep it in, redirect it, but he's wide of the goal. Moving pick, ball goes back to Detroit. Christy Lee, what do you have?
Well, Leaf, I'll tell you, as you can imagine, here on the Detroit Turbo bench, people are frustrated. When Pat Coyle got ejected from this game, I wish you could have seen the reaction from his teammates. Ted Dowling of the Wild Bunch was absolutely devastated, Leaf, and this team has got to come back. Shane Sanderson knows that. He's trying to give his team the biggest backups in all these timeouts. Let's see if it'll work, but they're down by 4, so it's going to be a hard road to hoe.
Pat Coyle had 3 goals on the year, 3 goals and 3 assists, so they're not going to miss much in the offensive end.
2 on 32, I got it. 2 on 32. 2-minute foul, holding 32.
Here's Geary making the big save. He has looked sensational, and there's the help. Hartle comes in, and really was yanking Pat Lee around, but it was Jim Veltman, number 32, as we look at Geary. Look at that custom paint job on the helmet. That's a beautiful paint job. Shot in a goal for Detroit. Their power play seems to really be kicking into gear. It was not in the first half, but Driscoll scores and gives that team a 10-7 look. Back to within 3. Look how they're moving it beautifully and shooting from the outside. In the first half, they'd make one more pass. Not now. Now they're taking that shot and really getting some pressure on Geary. Geary is set, but can't keep up with the velocity of that shot.
Stand by, Paul? I'm sorry.
3 minutes left.
We're going. Let's go.
Third quarter, 3-goal lead now as we look at Chris Driscoll on the Wild Bunch. Second goal tonight. It's still caught number 4 against Lancey, who's been doing a great job. Buffalo dominated last week. They won 22 of 33 faceoffs. Tonight it's been a little more of a close matchup. And I might even say Detroit has won more. So Buffalo probably came in a little smug, thinking they would win these faceoffs, but Lancey has been doing a great job. Saccone over Lancey. Down low. Here's Driscoll with a shot, looking for rope, but it goes wide and high. That'll go into the crowd, a souvenir. Fresh ball comes on, and now it'll be Buffalo Bandits ball under 3 minutes, 2:22 left, a 3-goal lead. That is striking distance, Major League lacrosse. Detroit plays this year on our Deuce coverage against Baltimore, and those teams scored 3 goals in 30 seconds. Here's one for Kilgore. Dietrich is really wearing out. Where's the defense? Shane Sanderson saying, keep the players out of his face. This man, Darius Kilgore, took it right down the pipe. Kilgore comes in, beats the defense, takes the shot after a check. Jacobs couldn't catch up with him. And again, another look at it. Jacobs can't keep up with him. And Kilgore, 6 feet, 215 pounds, right in the face of Dietrich with no backup defensively. Gets his second goal of the night. It's 11-7. 2 goals, 4 assists for Darius Kilgore. Trying to get into Terry Bullen. Geary's out of the goal. His helmet's off. Geary has his helmet knocked right off his head. It's a penalty delayed on Detroit. That shot by Kilgore gives it back to Detroit. Now they'll blow the whistle. Geary had to come off the field and try to get Buffalo a 6-on-5 with a delayed call. And with 1:28 left, Terry Bullen will go back into the penalty box. All right, Tamburino says he got his helmet. Let's take a look.
17 holes.
Now watch the helmet of the goalie.
Holes to keep his helmet.
Tough call. All the referee sees the helmet come off, but really that was not and he blows to the head. Geary's helmet looks like it wasn't fastened tightly, so Bullen gets a bad call there, in my estimation. Of course, again, good call for the referees because they only see the helmet come off, and they don't have the benefit of replay. And Marino gets the Buffalo bench squared away. It'll be 5-on-4, power play for Buffalo. Dietrich seems to be wearing down a little bit. Shot, he gets a good save with the backup to Veltman. Cordingley back to Hamling. Back to Cordingley, all the way over to Veltman for the shot. He's too far to the right. That's out of bounds. It'll give it to Detroit. Dietrich wearing down. You've got to keep the shots on goal because he has really faced tremendous pressure. He cannot be as strong as he was early in the game. Park tries to get it into Dowling. It almost scored. Brian Hall up to Veltman. Hall is nailed to the boards by Dowling. Trailing play. Great save by Dietrich. Tavares got the ball deep in the corner. Gave it right away to Cordingley, who was the trailing player. Instinctively, he looked for him. And Dietrich had to go from one pipe to the next, down these, and made a sensational save. 11-7. Less than a minute left in the third quarter. Adam Mueller. Geary comes out and double teams. Nobody in the net. Push call gives it to Detroit. Wow, how about Bill Geary? Came out of the net and double teamed Adam Mueller. Confident that he wouldn't be able to give up the ball and take advantage of the empty net. Dowling likes to go deep in the corner, one-on-one. Veltman plugging it up. Park coming across the middle, could not collect the ball. Tavares is playing defense on him. Here's Tavares now. He's got a little bit of room, but one player in front. He's got Cordingley in the middle. And this is Darius Kilgore with the juke move, double team, shot and a save. A spinning 180. Here comes Hammer. He can't get past Dietrich. Tavares picks it up. Trailing player out front is Hamley. No, that's Kilgore to the near side. Again, Tavares back door. Broke. No goal. Hamley was in the crease. Whoa, the offense is putting intense pressure on Dietrich. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with fourth quarter action. It's all on the line. All right, the King taking charge at the odd. Elvis, center stage. Yes, folks, this place is going wild. The King came out to the Village People's YMCA just before the fourth quarter started. Leif Ellsmo, Christy Lee, our Deuce coverage, a special presentation of Major Indoor Lacrosse on ESPN. And here are your third quarter stats. Look at Buffalo doubling the shots and better than that, 24-10, 15-6, commanding the loose balls led by Jim Veltman. The big stat throughout the game has been the power plays. Right now, you also saw in that graphic 5-3 in faceoffs. The power plays, 4 goals scored by Buffalo, make it 5. He's having a career night. Hammer Hamley, look at it come down low. He just redirects. Boom! Right into the corner. Was that Tavares? I can't even see who made it. It was Tavares. Tavares, number 11 from the back door. They are wearing Dietrich out. John Tavares gets 3 so far tonight. The lead now a comfortable 5 goals, 12-7. Don't forget, before Pat Coyle pulled that brainless stunt, it was 6-6. And he took his team out of it by being thrown out of the game and putting 2 players in the penalty box. Buffalo scored 2 on that, and they've never looked back. 14 minutes to go. Tyson Elias is down.
Hey, are you okay?
Rich Tamburino did not get a good response from Tyson Elias. They'll take a look at him. We'll take a short break. We are only 1 minute into the fourth quarter. A 5-goal lead for Buffalo. Elias is being looked at. We'll be back to the odd in just a moment. Back to live action at the odd. It's the fourth quarter. 15-7. I'm sorry, 12. That's a 5-goal lead for Buffalo. Leif Ellsmo, Chrissy Lee, bringing you our Deuce coverage. Major Indoor Lacrosse. Brian Nikita comes in. Gets through. Dietrich is wasted. Brian Nikita took advantage. A fast break for this powerful Dracula. Ninth goal of the season for Bryant, acquired from the defunct Pittsburgh franchise. Rosa gets the loose ball. It's do or die time for the Detroit Turbos. Picked off by Arnold. It's a lazy pass. Arnold now is off to the races against Dietrich. Dietrich looks tired. This is Tavares back to Arnold. The backdoor attempt not picked up cleanly. Rosa challenging for it. Now Meredith. Quarters will tell you the story. Look how close it was to that third quarter. And the third quarter was all knotted at 6. And then at the end of the third quarter, a 3-goal advantage, 6-3. There was a big run because of the penalty situation that Pat Coyle put on his team. He gave the burden to carry by going off half-cock against the referee. Holding call. Ball goes to Detroit. Look at Bill Geary. He's had a great game. Coach showing a lot of confidence.
Could I have that round thing? Let me have that. Thank you very much.
Ted Dowling goes into the box.
No, it's your ball, but I want to make sure everybody knows where it starts.
Referees have had a tough time
It's
these last few weeks.
misconduct, so it's no extra man. There's no extra man. It's misconduct.
Dowling shoots. Now that ball, look at, looks to be a goal. And they're saying no goal. I can tell you one thing. On that shot by Dowling, who's now in the penalty box because he mouthed off to the ref, you have to have both feet in front or on the plane of the goal. You can't do what Dowling just did. You can't be behind the goal and lay yourself out in front of the goal. One foot has to be up with that, and that's section for players. Darius Kilgore takes a shot on the power play. It's now 5 against 4. And Buffalo has been very, very lethal on their power play, just like we talked about. Christie was talking about that in the open. You don't want to give them the advantage, and Detroit has done that. They've scored 4 power play goals, 1 a man short. Watch out, Cordingley! Accordingly, he takes one fake, the old 5-hole shot against a very tired Dietrich. Watch how they get it back again. And accordingly, he makes one fake, holds Dietrich up, and then just splits him in half with that shot. Troy Cordingley, the good-looking second-year player, the heir apparent to some of the offensive stats that Derek Keenan had last year for this Buffalo team. Now 14-7. The Bandits lead by 7 with 11 minutes and change left. Hotel accommodations provided by the Buffalo Hilton. Meanwhile, back to live action, the score 15-7. And stick around, folks, because coming up right after this game, Sports Center. That'll be next, right to the conclusion of our playoff game. While we were gone, Brian Nicholas scored. The score now 15-7, an 8-goal lead, and it's been all Buffalo. They have scored 10 of the last 11 goals ever since the Pat Coyle incident, when he shoved the referee, taking his team literally out of any chance to win this game. Meanwhile, Steve Dietrich has done everything his coach has asked. He's been sensational in the goal. But they played a man down. They played with 14 players, and Coyle literally, by being out with a major penalty, gave Buffalo the chance to go on a power play, and they scored 2 goals, and they were off and running. And again, as I mentioned, they handled the last 11. Feldman looking for rope, goes wide. We're down to 4 minutes, 30 seconds. The 8-goal lead, too much for Detroit to overcome. Dietrich picks it up, bounces it to Pat Lee. And this team from Buffalo will be making their 3rd straight appearance World Championship of Indoor Lacrosse. It'll be next Saturday on ESPN Live, 2:30 Eastern Time. Don't forget our regular Deuce coverage. Our regular season Monday night 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time coverage will happen this week with the other playoff game, Philadelphia against New York. Don't miss that. gets it deflected by Dietrich. Adam Mueller comes up, gets knocked down by Tavares. He can't handle him. Mueller backdoor. Park looks for Rope. He's got it. Goal number 8 for Detroit.
Keep going, keep going.
Great fast break. Mueller to Park and beating Bill Geary. Geary has been good enough. Watch how Adam Mueller, as strong as he is, comes right through the whole team. Mueller first will beat the defense from way back. Then here comes Darius Kilgore. That was Tavares who hit him first. Then Kilgore. Tavares trails the play, does a beautiful job, still doesn't stop him. Then he draws the defense of Hamley and gives it up to Park. He had all the attention of the defense, including the goalie. When he gave it up to Park, Park just had to sweep it into an open net. 15-8. 7-goal cushion. The defending champions. Watch out behind you. Tyson Elias didn't see Rose up, and he still holds on and gets Rope. Elias is unbelievable. Watch how he gets checked once, twice. There's a third swat at him. He doesn't know the player's there, and he still scores on Dietrich. That had to be a little bit disconcerting to Dietrich. He thought the ball would be checked. Watch, he doesn't see Rosa comes from the penalty box. He's coming out of the penalty box, makes 1 swipe, 2 swipes, 3 swipes, and Tyson Elias scores. 16-8. 2:41. Lee Elmo, Christy Lee in our ESPN2 coverage, a special presentation on ESPN on the Ace, the Uno, our mothership. We've had a full season on the Deuce every Monday night. There's a shot in close, and finally a follow-up finds nothing but white net. That'll be the 9th goal.
Okay, you got it. Come on.
16-9, 2:22 left. Dwayne Jacobs takes it in, gets a shot on Geary, but it's the follow-up shot by Park that finds the net. 7-goal lead with 2:22 left. Goals for Detroit, 2 of the last 3. Tyson Elias scored in between there. Score now is 16-9. A very comfortable lead for Buffalo. Buffalo averages 15 and change for the year, so they're right on their yearly mark. And Detroit's not far from it. They average about 12. Lancey gets called for the push. It'll go back to Buffalo. Shaughnessy inbounds accordingly. They get a shot off, and now it's Lemon back into Dietrich, who's gone the whole way. He's been under intense pressure and has held up beautifully. Been really burned by a lot of backdoor plays, and that's really a defensive team problem, not a goalie problem. Ciccone wraps it around his shoulder. You won't see those backdoor shots against Buffalo because of their team defense concept. You won't get the passes through the cylinder from one side to the next. It's been happening too much against the Detroit Turbos. That time Pete Park full 220-6'5" frame wrapped in to get a shot on Geary. He's got 2 of the last goals in a row for Detroit, 2 of the last 3 in the game. So Park is hot. He wants to rock. 1:15 left. Crowd starting to warm up for a great post-game celebration. Yes, sir. Hartle. Tavares, great game. 3-3 right now. 3 goals, 3 assists. Mueller tripped by Cordingley. Cordingley will spend 2 minutes in the box. Cordingley will be taking a rest for the rest of the game. There's only 56 seconds left. Adam Mueller, watch the lower left-hand corner of this. Cordingley puts his foot out and trips Adam Mueller. Well, the 7th man in good voice. Detroit, a different look. They were playing a box with 1 man in the middle. Pete Park didn't work early in the third quarter it was, before Coyle took his team out of it. The whole story pretty much for Detroit has been Pat Coyle ruining a championship chance for his team by the bonehead move of pushing a referee. He left the game immediately. They've been playing a man down ever since. Major penalty cost them 2 goals right off the bat. It was 6-6 at the time. It got to be 8-6, and Buffalo has never looked back. Bill Geary's been strong in the goal. He makes 2 saves. One more shot. Rope for Meredith. And with 8 seconds left, that might be the final score. It's 16-10 at this moment. Accordingly is released from the penalty box, and the crowd has not even missed a beat in their victory song. A lot of shots on Geary. He made 1 save, 2 saves, and then the third shot followed up. There's 1 save, there's 2 saves right there, and the follow-up the third time by Meredith got them the 10th goal of the game. 7 seconds left. They'll just try to cover. Silcott will in close. Get ready for a maniac crowd that loves their game. On to the championship game for Buffalo, trying to three-peat, and the fans love it. We'll be back with some closing comments on our coverage of Major Indoor Lacrosse. Stay with us.
Tonight's Major Indoor Lacrosse game on ESPN has been brought to you by Coors Light. Great game, great beer, indoor lacrosse, and Coors Light. By Brine, the official equipment supplier to the Buffalo Bandits. And by Adidas, the official shoe supplier to the MILL. Adidas, the brand with 3 stripes.
The Buffalo Bandits with a big win. Darius Kilgore, the player of the game. 2 goals, 5 assists. He will carry that offense into the championship game. The key to the game for the Detroit team was not a positive one. Watch Pat Coyle. He gets called for a penalty. Then it's called a major 5-minute. He says, I don't like that. This move gets him shoved out of the league. Pat Coyle's not only gone from this game, he's gone from the league, and his team is eliminated. Bad move for Pat Coyle. Next week, the championship game, live, Saturday the 16th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Join my partner, Christy Lee, and I for all the action. For everybody on our crew, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. The Bandits win 16-10.